when you are young, you have dreams and you see the world in such a positive aspect. I love emceeing. I love to be on stage and I love to entertain people. I love seeing people laugh. I love seeing people smile and dance. I love seeing all the lights. I just love all of it. But how happy you are.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello everyone.
My name is Napasanan Tang Songswat and my nickname is Junju. I'm from Suratani School and my passions, I love to share my story and make everyone enjoy my story. And the other is I love to listening about the business and I love to listen to the background of entrepreneur.
And I'm Highlight. My full name is Natamon Sinprashawong, and I am from ICS or International Community School of Bangkok. One of my passions is I enjoy conducting and fostering positive, healthy, fruitful conversations regarding global issues, particularly gender equality, but moreover, alongside with that, I hope that students, particularly youth, they gain insights from that and possibly form like a nuanced adaptation to solve global issues. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get started with our questions. Today we are joined by the amazing, very energetic, as well as adventurous and ambitious MC and actor, Miss Diana Jongjintanakan ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're very honored to interview you today, and thank you so much for taking your time to come join us today.
Could you please introduce yourself and give a brief overview of your life?
Wow, it could take a long time, but I'll try to make it brief. My name is Diana Jongjintanakan. I started working in show business when I was around 12 or 13 years old, and my first job was being a host for a TV show, and then I think 20 something years passed and I'm still working as TV host and MC freelance. So I started when I was about 12, 13 and right now I'm 41. So yeah, I've been in this industry for a really long time.
Wow, amazing. How long have you, what inspired you to join the entertainment industry?
What inspired me to join the entertainment business? For a lot of people, they might think, oh, because I like the spotlight, or for other people, they might want to be, I want to be a star, I want to be famous, but for me, it was pure cash. I remember when I was 12, 13, I wanted to buy these pair of jeans, and my parents didn't let me because they thought oh, you don't have to, you don't need it, but if you want it, then you have to earn it. And I had no other choice but to take the job because I wanted to buy those pair of jeans. So, but then when I got my first paycheck, it was 3,000 baht.
Wow.
Those pair of jeans were 1,850 baht. And once I got the money, I thought, I worked so hard for this cash. And in the end, I ended up keeping everything. I didn't spend 1 baht at all.
Wow, okay. We would like to ask you about, since you're now a prominent figure, what have you learned from obtaining an influential platform?
For a lot of people, being in the industry means you get fame and you get, of course, lots and lots of cash. But for me, I think it's the society giving me the opportunity. It's in Thai, it's like สังคมให้โอกาสเรา or they welcome me, as คนในวงการ If you were to be on TV and people did not welcome you or people did not like you, it means nothing, right? And so for me, it's the society giving you the opportunity to be famous. And so when you have the chance to give back, it's a must. For me, it's me using my voice in the right way and using my voice to help people whose voices are silenced.
I love how you're like amplifying the voices of the marginalized. I would like to ask a follow-up question on why do you think society has provided you with the opportunities? Was it because they felt pity of you, or was it because they saw something in you that sparked?
Okay, when you watch TV or when you see something on TV, how do you know if you like the person? Like, do you like it because, oh, หล่อมาก they're so handsome? Do you like them because they're so talented? Why do you like them? See? But for me, it's like, they welcome me. I have people who gave me a lot of opportunities, like the producers or my audiences. Whenever I go and I meet the public, they welcome me. So it means they like what I do. And they welcome me. So for me, it's not just about being in the industry, but it's about being a person that it's not being a people pleaser, but it's being a person of the public.
What a quote. Absolutely. I think Junju has a question for you.
Based on our research, you are multiple lingual. Are you mixed races?
My mom is from Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong but raised in Thailand. And you probably don't know this, but my dad is actually from the south of Thailand. He's from Yala, Betong. And so we speak Chinese at home. My first language is Cantonese. And I grew up speaking Cantonese at home. And when I was about 2 to 3 years old, I started going to a Thai school. And it felt different for me because I spoke Chinese at home and because my Thai accent was not in place at that time. So people would make fun of me like, oh, ทำไมพูดไม่ชัดล่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ ทำไมพูดไม่ชัด
Speaking of that, you may know that accentism is, I think, an issue as well, because people are oftentimes judged based on how they pronounce each word, despite the fact that this is actually like a unique aspect of their culture, maybe because they have like different dialects, right? So how did you dealt with the difference in culture, maybe the tension that was created between the two places?
I was only 2 or 3 years old. I did not know how to cope with the tension. All I did was I went back to my parents and I was like, to make you feel better, my name prior to Diana Sujitarakan was Mei Ling. So in school, people would call me Mei Ling, and I felt like I did not fit in. So I went to my parents and I asked them if they could change my name and make it more Thai. Well, I wanted to conform and be more Thai. I didn't want to be Mei Ling anymore. So they gave me a Thai name, Supanni. So I changed from เด็กหญิงเหมยหลิงแซ่จง to สุพันนีจงจินตนาการ to try to conform and blend in with my friends.
Wow. I mean, conformity is such a big problem sometimes because you actually don't learn to embrace your own true unique identity until you really experience hardships, and it sometimes takes like a long time to actually learn that. Yeah.
How many language can you speak?
I speak Cantonese, Mandarin, English, and Thai. A lot of people ask me, oh, how come you know how to speak so many languages? But it came quite naturally for me because my parents only spoke Chinese to me. Like only Chinese were allowed to be spoken at home. So I spoke Chinese at home. I went to Chinese school to learn Mandarin. And of course we live in Thailand, so we speak Thai. And I went to an international school since 5th grade. So that's where I got my English.
Did it take you long to actually learn how to speak Thai fluently or adjust your accent?
I think being 2 or 3 years old, it was quite easy for you to adjust and conform. But if they say if once you reach, I don't know, 16 or 17, and then you try to learn a new language, it might be harder for you to sound native.
Exactly. Like it becomes more challenging as you get older. So
Yes.
that's why they say, like, as said in like the Thai idiom, ไม้อ่อนดัดง่ายไม้แก่ดัดยาก. Yeah, I
Yes.
think that really fits in right here. Yep. So what advice would you like to give to those who are willing to learn more than one language or want to become a multilingual?
I think as the world is coming closer and closer together with internet and everything, linking all of us around the world, it's quite important to know more than one language. English used to be an international language, and now that we have more Chinese investors around the world, Mandarin has also become a more prominent language as well. And so I think for me, it's learning a second language to help you to I call it like a weapon. It's like you learn as many skills as you can so that it's like a weapon for you. Whenever you see something, you can fight with whatever is given to you in the future. If in the future you want to be a business person and you meet someone who speaks English, you can communicate with them. If you learn Chinese, one day you want to work with someone from China, you can communicate with them. So I think learning languages or learning any new skills is like getting prepared and equipped for whatever it is that you have to go through in life.
We're very fortunate that nowadays in international schools, they are like kind of encouraging students to take several languages so they become multilingual.
Actually, I took Spanish for 2 years, I took French for 4 years, and I took Japanese for a semester, but I forgot everything already because I haven't been using it at all. So now I only know, Thai, English, and Chinese.
For those who do live in Thailand and they have the skill of speaking English, what advice would you like to give to them so that they could like maintain the skill of speaking English despite the fact that they might not be living in that particular country?
One, you're never too old to learn. Two, you must sharpen your skills at all time. It's like when you're using a knife, you always have to sharpen your knife so that the blade is sharp enough to cut through anything. With your skills, it's the same. If you keep sharpening your skills, then like I said, whatever it is, whatever struggle or whatever it is that you have to go through in life, you can use your blade to get through anything.
But how would you sharpen your blade if you don't have the opportunities to do so?
Like with you, where did you learn your English?
I learned from YouTube, yes, and open the subtitle. First time I opened Thai language and then changed to English.
See, she is not given the opportunity to go to an international school, but she learned her English through YouTube, and she can sharpen her skills every day, anytime, at her convenience, because she feels that English would be important to her in the future.
Exactly. Yes. I like how you mentioned how like globalization or how people nowadays are being more connected to each other in a way due to social media and all the resources around us. Yes.
How many countries you have lived in?
I was in Hong Kong for a while because I was born there, and then just basically lived in Thailand, and then I went to school in San Francisco for 2 years. So I haven't been abroad much, just in the States for 2 years. But if you were to ask me how many provinces in Thailand have I been to, I am proud to say that I've been to every single province in the Kingdom of Thailand because of my work.
Oh, okay.
I have to travel around all the time for my work. So that's one of the reasons why I've been to all these places in Thailand, and I love Thailand.
Traveling can oftentimes be very tiring, right? How do you maintain your wellness?
For some people, do you like taking plane rides or car rides?
Car rides most of
Why?
the times. I enjoy like the road trip experience.
Exactly. For me, I like looking at the view, and I like how, you know, when you're in Bangkok, your life is like always hustling. You wake up and everything is in a rush. You have to hurry through everything. And once you're done with work, you have to hurry home. And once you get home, you have to try to get enough sleep. But when you're taking a road trip, you look through the window and you see the view, and then you look back at yourself and you reflect on your life and you feel, you know what? My life is actually, I'm just a part, like a really small part of the universe. Because once you look outside, there is so much more than you and the journey that you're going through.
Yes, that's a good like reflective session that you can have with yourself through being observant
Exactly.
of the nature.
So to answer your question, I never get tired because every time I look out the window, it's my way of reflecting and detoxing. Because when you're stressed, when you have too much on your mind, sometimes sessions like this can ease your mind, and it's like pressing a reset button on yourself when you go on trips and you look out the window.
Would you describe your experience as therapeutic, like it's
Yes,
a therapy?
exactly.
Okay. I think Pijanju has a question for you about global issues.
What global issue are you passionate about?
There are so many issues in the world, and for me, I think if you were to choose one topic to talk about, it would be better. Because if you were to talk about everything, all the issues in the world, it would take, I don't know how many lifetimes for you to try to solve or raise a platform to talk about this issue. I would like to touch just on Thailand. For me, I think the inequality in Thailand, and I think because of COVID, I've seen a lot of, how should I put this? The rich will only get richer, and the poor will only get poorer. And when you're not so fortunate, you don't get that many opportunities in life. So I think if I were to touch on a topic that I want to work on, it would be to raise awareness for people to know and understand their rights. Basic rights as a Thai citizen.
I mean, that's a good objective to have when you're raising awareness. But I like how you pointed out the conspicuous gap between those who are rich, those who are affluent, those who are wealthy, and those who are underprivileged. Like, there's a conspicuous gap between these two. And what are your thoughts on how we could bridge these two and maybe find like an equalizer or a balancer that makes both the rich and the poor gain their deserved rights?
It would be a fairy tale to say that there's Robin Hood robbing the rich to give to the poor, and I think it would probably never happen in real life. But for me, I think a lot of people in Thailand, they don't know their basic rights. For example, with COVID, some people don't even know that they have the rights to free medication. So again, I give a lot of importance on knowing your rights and knowing what the government can provide you as a Thai citizen, because it's more realistic in terms of, okay, if you were to get sick, where would you go? If you needed help and you were unemployed, where would you go? If you were a senior citizen and you don't have, no one would hire you anymore, how much would the government pay you per month? Things like that. I think it's just the basic rights. Again, it's like having weapons for you to know that, okay, this is your survival kit. And you know that at least this is what you have, then you can go from there.
When you speak of that, at the end of the day, what we actually need, I think, is education to educate others so that they become well aware and fully aware of their surroundings.
Did you know that while we have lots and lots of students with, I have 2 iPads, I have iMac, I have iPhone, there are still students in some areas in Thailand where they have never seen a computer before. And as we're talking about technology, as we're talking about how we're like living in like 5G society, everyone's using 5G, we still have people who are using phones, like dialing phones, you know? They're not like, none of their lives are like, they're really analog. They don't have smartphones. And so how do we get to these people when a lot of things are designed for people with smartphones, people with access to internet? But like I said, there's still this gap in Thailand. But how? I think the only way where we can get to these people, like you said, is through education. But how do we make it so that no matter where you are in whichever part or whichever province in Thailand, they get the same standard of education? Like with you, you speak fluent English, you speak really, really good English, but there are people out there who have no access to education like that. There are people who can't even afford to go to school.
Like sometimes we need to recognize that we still have these unfulfilled, unfulfilled opportunities maybe, like for those who are underprivileged, the students, instead of like focusing on like developing 5G and like increasing accessibility and this, that, the you know, like etc. We should like, you know.
When you build a house, you have to make sure the foundation is right. For me, I think education is really important. It's not just, education is important for children. Education is important for everyone, regardless their age. You could be 60 and you could start learning how to use a smartphone, right? So it doesn't mean like, today we're gonna talk about 5G. Do you know how to load this application? They don't even have access to a smartphone. So why would you talk about 5G, right?
True. That's like true to its words because it's happening in our current society that like, although you're developing 5G, but people, the underprivileged, don't even have access to a phone. How will they like, you know, build off of this and how to develop this? I think that's a good point that you brought up.
What have you done to combat the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, let me ask you, what have you seen in the news?
I seen a page. You make a page. เราต้องรอด yes.
How did it make you feel when you saw the page?
For me, I feel like it's very inspiring actually to just see someone stepping out of their comfort zone and establishing a page. You know, like sometimes I feel like little instances, for instance, that you gave an example in your previous interviews of people like DMing you into your message. And then this kind of like ignited and sparked this inspiration inside of you that, okay, maybe we could create a system in which we could make this whole entire process more simpler for others and make it more convenient for them. You know, just like these tiny actions really do spark inspiration.
To add to that, I never thought it would be such a big platform. I seriously did not think it would be such a big platform. I initiated the project, I just created the page because I did not want people to just keep DMing me. And I didn't have time to answer all the messages. So I just made a page so that I can invite other people to be the admin and help me answer the questions. But then it was just like a process of improvising, and then it went from helping to contact ambulances, to hospitals, to sending home isolation kits, to setting up an isolation centers. So in the end, we ended up with a platform where we had 4 community isolation centers where we worked really closely with government hospitals, and we send home isolation kits. We help take care of patients with emergencies, and we help coordinated and collaborated and just helping people who did not know what their rights were. And so I'd have to say it was an honor for me to help everyone, and people often ask me, what do you get out of helping these people? One, I get to learn about real life. I get to learn about the philosophy of Buddhism, which is เกิด แก่ เจ็บ ตาย. You're born to this world, you get old, you get sick, and then you leave. And so after learning and really understanding the concept, it comes back to reflecting on my life. How would I live well, and how would I leave well? So ever since we started all these mission, it gives me a lot to think about in life.
Wow. I mean, you brought up a very philosophical question, right, about how we can leave well and where we're going after this, and like how can we, initiate impact, like positive impact. How can we help and serve the community?
Some people think that they have to make great impact in this world, but for me, I ask myself almost every other night, like, have I made a difference? If I were to leave this world, would I leave happily? Would I have any worries? And so, like I said, it gave me lots and lots of lessons and things to think about. And I guess I would have to say I understand life more, much more. Like I know when you watch TV, you see people suffer, but it's not the same as witnessing someone leave this world right in front of your face. It's a total different story. And once they leave this world, and then you have to be the person talking to their relatives and trying to calm them down when you're the one being down, it's lots and lots of layers for myself to cope with.
How has this changed your life? This experience of witnessing someone dying in front of you change your life?
It has taught me to enjoy every moment that I have in this world, and to never take anything for granted. I am so lucky to be born into this world. I have parents who provide for me. I have work every day, and I rarely have to suffer in life. I might have to struggle a bit, but I am quite equipped with tools that I think I can pass through whatever it is that I'm faced with every day.
So you're saying that you're privileged to the point where you're equipped with different weapons so that you could be able to overcome.
You can look at this in two ways. One is I'm happy with what I have, because a lot of people, they suffer every day thinking of what they don't have. I wish I could have, I do not wish I could have anything, because I am happy with what I have every day. I am content with what I have.
That's a good, moral to keep in mind. Maybe sometimes we take things for granted and we think that, okay, this is the basic human needs. Everyone has this, but you forget to look on people, others, that sometimes the underprivileged don't have these opportunities. They don't have access to even the what you call or what you interpret as the so-called basic human needs. Yeah. So I've seen you talking to different leaders, for instance, Tancha Chat, you've been in a discussion with him, maybe, and how do you think this has affected your project?
Again, my platform, เราต้องรอด, we are volunteers in helping to coordinate and collaborate with different agencies in order to help the underprivileged. So I've actually been in a meeting with Prime Minister of Thailand, Deputy Prime Minister, and lots and lots of key people in Thailand, especially from the Ministry of Health. And if you were to ask me how did it feel, there was no feeling involved. It was pure, what do I have to do to make sure, I call them my friends, my family, people who need help from me. What do I need to do in order to deliver help, deliver medicine, deliver medical services to them in time, so that we don't lose any more lives? So if you were to ask me how I felt, there was no feeling involved. It was pure, okay, what do I need to do so that no one will die? That was it. So I did not want to see more deaths. Yeah.
Oh, so was that what motivated you to kind of reach out to others? Yes. Okay, so you don't want to see the deaths of other people, the sufferings. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see anyone leave this world just because they're not affluent enough. Just because they don't have the money to pay means they have to die. I don't think it's fair. So I think that was my motivation.
Wow. How did you dealt with the accusations that were thrown at you oftentimes? Because people sometimes say that, okay, so you're doing this, you must have a motive behind doing this. Is it because you're aiming towards becoming a political figure in Thailand? How did you dealt with these criticisms and accusations?
The funny thing is, I heard it, but I did not listen to it. I know people say things, but then it just didn't get to me, because I knew what my goal was. I knew exactly what my goal was, so nothing else mattered. I don't care what they say, I don't care who saying what about me, it did not matter, because my objective was there, and I knew what I was doing.
Hearing and listening is different. Yes. That's true.
I heard this word listening and hearing from my Titapat. Yes. Hearing and listening is not the same. Hearing is just you just ฟัง and then you just ปลดปล่อยมันไป but listening is you get it and you think about it and you just go for it in your mind like that.
So yeah, maybe I heard it, maybe I listened to it a little bit, but then like I said, it did not get to me at all, because I guess I wasn't they had no meaning. Like there's a saying in Thai ถ้าหมาเห่าถ้าเราไม่เห่าต่อก็ไม่เป็นไร So along the way dogs bark at you. Would you stop and bark back at them, or do you continue on your journey?
I like that analogy that you just made about like how dogs will bark. Those are like criticisms, right? Like being thrown at you. Yeah, so like speaking of social media, how do you think it has changed the world, changed people's lives, how it has impacted netizens, users?
Social media has made such drastic impact on everyone. We rarely talk on the phone anymore. We just lie at each other. And I think it will change the world even more in the future. And there are always two sides to things. With social media, you can get a lot from it, and you can also lose a lot from it as well. I see a lot of people when they go out to have dinner with friends, they're always on the phone.
Yeah.
Why be on the phone and meet each other? If you can actually talk to each other.
Yes.
Why don't you put? I would have a friend who would like, okay, phones away, everyone, phones away. Look at me when you're talking. You know. So there, like I said, there are always two ways when you look at things. You can take the good side of it, or you can take the bad side of it.
True. So like two sides to a coin, or like คมสองฝัก maybe. Yes, I think it really fits in here. Okay, I would like to ask you about like success maybe. How would you define success?
How would I define success? If you were to ask me this question when I was 30, it would be I want to have 100 million baht in my bank account, or I want to have 10 million baht in my bank account.
People measure success very differently. And I think my experience and my journey has given me a whole new dimension to the word or definition of success. Success for me is before I close my eyes to get rested at night, did I fulfill everything that I wanted to do? Have I done everything that I wanted to do? If I were to leave this world and not wake up tomorrow, would I have any worries? And if I can answer myself and say, oh, I'm happy with my life, I'm okay with everything, and that's successful for me. I think it's like for people, they perceive success differently, but for me right now, I think success is not about how much money you have. It's not about how many cars you own or how successful or the numbers of growth in your company, but how happy you are with your life.
Sometimes people wouldn't want to end up in a situation where as they said earlier, like นอนตายตาไม่หลับ, which is like you haven't fulfilled all of your dreams. So like making sure and ensuring that you've completed everything you fulfilled, you have that sort of sense of satisfaction that you feel.
And one more thing is never forget your inner child. When you are young, you have dreams and you see the world in such a positive aspect. But once you grow older and you struggle and you go out there and you fight and you fail, sometimes you forget your inner child. You forget that you used to have your dreams. And a lot of people end up doing what they hate. When you do what you love, it would not feel like work at all. Like for me, I love emceeing. I love to be on stage and I love to entertain people. I love seeing people laugh. I love seeing people smile and dance. I love seeing all the lights. I just love all of it. And so when people ask me, how do you do it? You go from province to province and you just like off stage, on stage all the time. I'm excited every time I get to go on stage. And it's never work for me. It's like my playground. So I don't feel like it's work, and I get energy from using energy. You get energy by burning energy, and it's usually the opposite, right? So when you're happy with what you're doing, it won't be a struggle for you. I mean, like there'll be a challenge, but it'll be fun. It'll be like playing like a game online, you know. It's like, okay, give me this challenge. What's the challenge of the day? Okay, let's deal with it. It's the way you look at things. If you were thrown a challenge and you look at it in a way where, okay, I don't think I can do it. I don't have the equipment. I'm not confident. I'm not good enough. Just by saying you're not good enough, it's already making you not eligible for success. But if you think you can do it, then you can do it.
So would you say that motivation is based off of your mind, the mindset that you have?
You are who you think you are. If you think you're successful, then you're successful. If you think you would fail in everything, you would fail in everything. I think, therefore I am.
Wow. It's a great quote.
I think COVID has changed all of our lives and we lose connection with people. But you know what? Losing connection with other people is okay, but never lose connection with yourself. Always know how you're feeling, and always, I talk to myself a lot. Like I ask myself, like, are you okay? Be kind, not just to others, but be kind to yourself. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Both of you are still so young. You have so much ahead of you, you know? And I just want you to look at the world from the eyes of someone who is full of dreams and full of imagination, because you can be whoever you want to be. Again, I think, therefore I am. If you think you can do it, I believe you can do it.
So you've said how like you're trying to have that mindset inside of you that, okay, you can become this person, etc., right? So can you distinguish between us, like what is the differences between self-care and selfishness? Like, is there an overlap?
Selfishness is when you put your advantage, you prioritize your advantage before others. Meaning, if you were to get in line and you cut line because you want to get food before other people, that's prioritizing other people's advantage over your own. No, that's prioritizing your own advantage over other people, okay? But if it's self-care, it's being kind to yourself, knowing you have worked hard, knowing you have done all you can, and giving yourself a chance to not be at it all the time. I understand the stress of having to excel, like having the need to must excel in everything, having the need to prove to your parents that I am good, or having the feeling of must accomplish something to get something. But for me, it's talking to yourself and asking yourself if you have pushed yourself too much, if you have given yourself any rest, if you have asked yourself if everything that you're facing is too much, is it too much for me? It's caring for yourself, not being selfish. It's two very different things, but sometimes people think it's the same, but it's actually very different.
Speaking of like parenting methods, right, as you've mentioned earlier, how your parents sometimes like maybe compare yourself, your own child to others, how would you like deal with this?
Do you get that?
Yes, I sometimes get that, but
How do you deal with it? But you probably get like, oh, you're so good, and the other,
no, like sometimes I have people who I look up to and I recognize them. I look up to them very highly, and sometimes like my parents don't do that to me. They tend to put me in the driver's seat. They're very supportive, but sometimes I myself have this conflict, internal conflict inside of me where I look up to them, but at the end of the day, they're just like 3 years older than me or something like that, and I start comparing them to me. Am I enough? Am I able or capable of doing the things that they can do? Yeah.
how do you deal with that? Does it give you a lot of stress, or does it motivate you?
I would view this as like a two-sided coin at the end of the day, because the gap level sometimes motivates me that I still have potential. You look up to these upperclassmen, oh, they're successful. Okay, so we're at the same school, so does that mean that I might potentially become successful as them? So like you kind of set the standard to yourself, so I view this as like both positive and negative in its own self. But like sometimes I also look down to the level. I wouldn't like to say that I look down, because I don't want to be looking down on others who are like trying their best to develop. So like I try to be grateful that I'm at this stage, but I sometimes struggle to appreciate what I have.
For me, I feel that everyone in this world is fighting their own journey. She has her own journey and you have your journey. And sometimes when you talk to people and when you care too much about other people's journey, you lose your focus point. When you know where you're going, you press a GPS and it takes you there. But when you're not following your GPS and you're talking to your friends and you take a detour and you just keep on detouring everywhere, then it will take you nowhere. Find your focus point, find your destination, and focus. I believe if you stay focused, you'll be on track and you'll be on the journey to success.
We can oftentimes get distracted by like our surroundings.
You can detour for a bit if you feel like it. You can rest for a bit, but then never lose focus.
That's very true to itself, not to lose focus.
แบบทำไงถึงจะตั้งแบบเป้าหมายได้แบบไม่ค่อยเขวค่ะคือแบบพอมองไปที่คนอื่นแล้วรู้สึกว่าเราก็อยากไปในทางแบบที่คนอื่นไปแล้วทำให้แบบที่บ้านภูมิใจได้ด้วยอะไรแบบนี้แล้วก็พอมองไปทางของเราแล้วมันกลับกันอะไรแบบนี้แล้วเราแบบค่อยเขว
แบบเหมือนนั่งเป็นหมอดูเลยนะ ข้อที่หนึ่งเลยนะ หนูอ่ะต้องสื่อสารกับคุณพ่อคุณแม่ว่าสิ่งที่ทำให้เขาภูมิใจอ่ะกับสิ่งที่ทำให้หนูภูมิใจในตัวเองอ่ะมันเป็นทางเดียวกันไหม คือถ้ามันเป็นในทางเดียวกันก็อาจจะต้องบอกคุณพ่อคุณแม่ในบางครั้งว่าพ่อคุณแม่คะหนูเหนื่อยแล้วนะคะหนูขอพักแป๊บนึงแล้วถ้าหนูพร้อมแล้วเดี๋ยวหนูจะไปต่อในทางของหนูคือบางทีการสื่อสารกันกับคุณพ่อคุณแม่ก็เป็นสิ่งที่สำคัญมากเพราะบางทีพ่อแม่เราก็เข้าใจเขานะเขาทำงานหนักเขาก็อยากเห็นเราประสบความสำเร็จไม่มีพ่อแม่คนไหนที่อยากจะเห็นลูกตัวเองซัฟเฟอร์แต่เพียงแต่ว่าบางทีความหวังดีของเขาอะ อาจจะมีความแรงกล้ามากจนเรารู้สึกว่าแบบถ้าเราพลาดเราจะทำให้เขาผิดหวังแต่จริงๆแล้วอะเชื่อพี่นะว่าพ่อแม่ทุกคนอะพร้อมที่จะกอดหนูและพร้อมที่จะยื่นทิชชู่ให้หนูอะถ้าหนูเศร้าหนูร้องไห้หรือหนูผิดหวังเพียงแต่ว่าหนูต้องสื่อสารกับเขาตลอดเวลาว่าเฮ้ยแม่หนูแฮปปี้อย่างนี้นะแม่แฮปปี้ยังไงคือมันต้องคุยกันอะเหมือนเขาเป็นผู้บริหารระดับสูงอะเขาเป็นผู้แบบอนุมัติงบอย่างเงี้ยหนูก็ต้องคุยกับเขาว่าแม่โอเคไหมแบบนี้คือมันต้องคุยกันอย่างพี่กับแม่ตอนเด็กๆทะเลาะกันตลอดเวลาแต่พอเราคุยกันมากขึ้นน่ะเราสื่อสารกันน่ะแล้วเราเข้าใจกันน่ะมันจะทำให้ทุกอย่างมันดีขึ้นแต่ถ้าเกิดว่าแม่จะเอาแบบนี้หนูจะเอาแบบนี้หนูจะเอาแบบนี้แม่จะเอาแบบนั้นมันเครียดเกินไปอ่ะแล้วมันจะเหนื่อยอ่ะชีวิตคนมันต้องไม่เหนื่อยอ่ะมันต้องมีความสุขทุกวันใช่มันมีความเครียดบ้างแต่ว่ามันต้องมีความสุขทุกวันนะคะ
ขออนุญาตถามเผื่อคนดูที่บ้านนะคะว่าแบบถ้าสมมุติว่ามันมีเหมือนเป็นแกประหว่างเด็กๆครอบครัวกับคุณพ่อคุณแม่จะทำยังไงเพื่อที่จะปรับทัศนคติโดยที่ไม่ต้อง
พี่ให้หนูทั้งสองคนพูดมาเลยว่าปัญหาส่วนมากที่เกิดขึ้นที่เป็นความไม่เข้าใจกันระหว่างผู้ปกครองกับลูกๆมีอะไรบ้างยกตัวอย่างเช่น
ของหนูไม่ค่อยเป็นเท่าไหร่
เอาของเพื่อนก็ได้ไม่ต้องเป็นของหนูเอาของเพื่อนๆเช่นแม่ต้องให้หนูได้เกรดเฉลี่ย 3.0 ค่ะไม่อย่างนั้นห้ามอย่างนี้หรือแม่ต้องให้หนูเรียนพิเศษอย่างนี้ค่ะไม่อย่างนั้นจะต้องอย่างนี้มีไหม
มี
เช่น
แบบต้องเข้าโรงเรียนนี้ให้ได้เท่านั้นถึงจะได้แบบทำกิจกรรมนี้ถึงจะแม่จะให้ไปทำอย่างนี้อันนี้ของเพื่อนคน
ถ้าเรามองอีกมุมหนึ่งนะคะทุกอย่างในโลกนี้มองที่จุดประสงค์หลักของพ่อแม่คืออะไรข้อที่1เลยรักลูกข้อที่2เขาไม่อยากให้ลูกลำบากคำพูดที่พ่อแม่พูดว่าเธอจะเอาอะไรกินถ้าเธอทำอาชีพนี้เธอจะเอาอะไรกินจุดประสงค์หลักคือเขาเป็นห่วงแล้วเขาอยากให้เราดูแลตัวเองได้สมมติเราเลี้ยงน้องหมาอย่างเงี้ยเราให้น้องหมาอยู่ที่บ้านเราออกไปเที่ยว 2-3 วันเราก็กลัวเขาไม่มีข้าวกินใช่ไหมว่าเขาจะอยู่ยังไงเราคือเบบีของพ่อแม่ที่พ่อแม่อยากให้เราโตขึ้นแล้วดูแลตัวเองได้จึงมี constraint หรือว่ามีข้อกำหนดอะไรแบบนี้แต่ถ้าสมมติว่าคุณพ่อคุณแม่ที่ดูอยู่ค่ะบางทีก็อาจจะต้องทำความเข้าใจลูกๆสักนิดนึงว่าบางทีเป็นเด็กสมัยนี้มันก็เหนื่อยนะคะคุณพ่อคุณแม่ค่ะเพราะว่ามันต้องต่อสู้กับอะไรเยอะแยะเลยค่ะเพื่อนๆก็เก่งๆกันทั้งนั้นเลยบางทีหนูก็อาจจะเก่งสู้เขาไม่ได้แต่หนูเก่งด้านอื่นนะคะคุณพ่อคุณแม่ก็เลยอาจจะต้องอย่างที่บอกว่ามันต้อง communicate แล้วก็ต้องสื่อสารกันลูกเองก็ต้องอาจจะแบบคุณพ่อคุณแม่คะหนูขอคุยด้วยหน่อยนะคะหนูเป็นแบบนี้คุณพ่อคุณแม่มองยังไงคะคุณพ่อคุณแม่ก็อาจจะบางทีก็อย่าเครียดกับเด็กๆจนเกินไปค่ะสงสารเด็กๆสมัยนี้จริงๆเพราะว่าคนที่เก่งก็จะเก่งไปเลยอะค่ะคนที่ไม่เก่งก็จะแบบทำไมถึงไม่เก่งแล้วก็อยากจะบอกแบบนี้ว่าบางทีเกรดเฉลี่ยมันไม่ใช่ทุกอย่างของโลก 3.0 3.5 4.0 ไม่ใช่ทุกอย่างของโลกการที่เราค้นหาตัวเองให้เจอและมีความสุขได้ในทุกๆวันดูแลตัวเองได้มันน่าจะเป็นอะไรที่ตอบโจทย์มากกว่าเกรดเฉลี่ยเพราะถ้าเรามองดูดีๆแล้วอะค่ะคนส่วนมากพวกเด็ก 4.0 มักจะมาทำงานให้พวกสอบตกถ้าเราลองมองดูดีๆเพราะว่าอะไรคนส่วนมากจะจ้างคนที่เก่งกว่าตัวเองมาบริหารงานเสมอเพราะเราอาจจะคิดได้แค่เป็นหัวการค้าแต่เราทำบัญชีไม่เป็นเราทำการตลาดไม่เป็นอันนี้จบอันนี้มาเก่งมาทำอันนี้จบอันนี้มาเก่งมาทำเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยแต่ละคนจะมีธรรมชาติของตัวเองที่แตกต่างกัน 1. ทำอะไรแล้วมีความสุข 2. คุยกับพ่อแม่และครอบครัวให้เข้าใจว่าเขาเข้าใจไหมว่า อันเนี้ยเป็นความสุขของหนูความเครียดนอกเหนือจากจะเกิดขึ้นจากตัวของน้องๆเองยังเกิดขึ้นจากสังคมสิ่งแวดล้อมโรงเรียนเพื่อนๆเพราะฉะนั้นคุณพ่อคุณแม่คะอ่อนโยนกับน้องๆเขาหน่อยนะคะสงสารจังเลยค่ะทุกอย่างมันน่าจะต้องเริ่มจากความเข้าใจกันในครอบครัวคือถ้าเราอยู่บ้านเราแฮปปี้อ่ะเราออกไปข้างนอกเราก็จะสู้ได้ก็ฝากคุณพ่อคุณแม่ที่กำลังดูรายการอยู่ตอนนี้แล้วกันนะคะว่าเราอยู่กับเด็กเก่งมากๆทั้งสองคนแล้วก็รู้สึกวันนี้เหมือนไม่ได้แค่เขาคุยกับเราอ่ะเราก็คุยกับเขาด้วยแล้วเราก็ได้เรียนรู้อะไรหลายๆอย่างว่าความเครียดของเด็กนะตอนนี้มีอยู่จริงนะคะก็ฝากคุณพ่อคุณแม่ทุกคนช่วยกันสื่อสารแล้วก็ดูแลลูกๆด้วยอย่าให้เขาเครียดเกินไปนะคะ
พี่ไดจัดเลย
พี่ไดจัด
Thank you so much everyone for taking your time to watch today's interview and I hope you've also gleaned invaluable insights and I hope that this interview, specifically this one, increased the sense of relatability between us and the audiences because I understand you and we're also going through this together. So thank you so much for checking in. Yep. ขอบคุณค่ะ Bye.